Hey guys, it's Josh here from Be In Touch, and today we're going to be talking about sending nudes, and there's no easy way into this, so let's just jump straight into it. I'm going to be talking to you about 4 different big ideas when it comes to sending nudes. One is how we got to this point that sending nudes seems to be so commonplace. Number 2, why I would never want my wife to send me a nude. And then number 3 and 4, we're going to look at some of the really legal consequences of sending nudes and then the practical consequences as well. So let's just jump straight into it. Now, how did sending nudes become such a commonplace thing these days? A lot of people say that it's just kind of the next generation's evolution of how they build relationships. Our grandparents had letters, our parents had email and voice chat, and now the next generation has sending nudes. And this is a lie. The real reason that sending nudes is now so common is that we've had such an explosion of sexual content that's available online, mainly in the form of pornography, which is now accessible from pretty much any device. And as a good example, if you think about even fitness magazine, even the cover profiles on a fitness magazine today would be what your parents would have seen inside a pornographic magazine. So there's been a real becoming more accessible of this kind of sexual content. And I think that's why sending nudes is now so common. Now, the reason I wouldn't want my wife to send me a nude is that sending a nude is basically an attempt at building trust, right? I'm going to trust you with a secret, something that nobody else knows. I'm going to send this picture to you and I'm going to trust and that you're not going to share it with anyone. And that's going to bring us together because we hold something in secret together. Now, I would never want my wife to do that because she's always going to know that I have that picture. And maybe she sends it in a moment that we're very connected and we're very trusting, but then I start doing something in the relationship that's not okay. She might not want to tell me that what I'm doing is not okay because she might fear that I might do something with that nude. And that's why I would never want her to send it to me. You see, relationships are more like cycles of the year. Sometimes they're really great, like summer. Sometimes they're really hard, like winter, cold and distant. And unlike in social media feeds where everything is kind of on a timeline getting better and better with your best posts all the time, in real life, you might send a nude when you're feeling really connected to someone, really trusting. But there are cycles in any relationship, and there will come a time when you guys feel distant and you feel untrusting. And at that point, if you've given over that trust of sending a nude to someone, you don't know what they're going to do with it. So with that in mind, let's talk about the legal consequences of sharing nudes. Now, we have to understand that anyone that shares a nude who is under the age of 18 can be charged and found guilty of a crime. Now, it's important that you know that. Obviously, a lot of people under the age of 18 that share nudes are not being charged because that's not a really great way to teach them. But even last year, a man was charged with 10 years in prison for having child pornography material. And that's what sending a nude under the age of 18 can be defined as. We have to understand as well that anyone from the age of 14 and up can be charged criminally. That means you, as an individual, represent yourself in a court of law. And we've also seen that ages from 10 to 14 also can be charged criminally, depending on the circumstance. But more than all of these legal ramifications, we have to think about the fact that not only if you don't get charged, that's only one aspect, but imagine the parents of the child that you send a nude to or the parents of a child that you receive a nude from will be able to sue you in your own responsibility for that nude. And that opens a whole uncontrollable world of consequences that I'm sure you don't have any idea about. But more practically than that, let's get past the legal side and just think about it practically. Now, as I said, relationships are more like seasons than a single timeline that goes forward. And unfortunately, and I know from experience, that a very small percentage of relationships that start in school will actually go all the way through to a lifelong partnership. And what that means is that you're probably not going to be in a relationship with the boyfriend or girlfriend that you might be interested or even in a relationship with now. And what that means is that when that relationship turns to the winter years and maybe you guys break up, you have to understand that that content, that nude picture that you've shared is out there forever. And because you can't control it, you never know what will happen with it. And I know what you're thinking. You might say, well, that person would never share it. They're not that kind of person. But you have to understand that accidents also happen. They might leave their phone somewhere and someone accesses the pictures and then shares them. Their phone might get hacked by someone and that their data gets stolen. Or they might just make a mistake and send it to the wrong person. And it will never, ever go away. I mean, you know that on Snapchat and TikTok and all the social media platforms, the screen grab has taken away any illusion that our content is ever deleted. And we have to understand that a lot of teenagers and even university students really share nudes like they're playing cards. So I hope I've given you some things to think about, and I really hope that you don't use sending nudes as a way to build relationship or build trust between people. Rather, jump on a phone call, chat to that person and find out from them what they're like and whether you guys can build a relationship together. I hope the advice helps. Stay safe out there and stay savvy.